Life has a way of balancing itself. Chosen ones. The universe doesn't let anything slide. Every action carries its weight, and every intention, good or bad, comes full circle. The ones who throw thorns in your path, fate carves their downfall with those very same thorns. Every dagger they've aimed at you has found its way back to their own backs, and they never see it coming. That's the cosmic law. They think they're the architects of your failure, but they are nothing more than stepping stones on your path to greatness. They watch from the shadows, whispering your name, hoping, praying that you stumble. But here's the twist. Every trap they set only sharpens your instincts. Every betrayal, another lesson that makes you untouchable. They spend sleepless nights obsessing over how you keep rising, how every storm only fuels your fire. They don't realize they were never your obstacle, just another test to make you stronger. The ones who tried to bury you, they forgot that seeds grow in darkness. The weight of their envy was supposed to crush you, but instead it built the foundation of your empire. They wanted you lost, yet here you are, more focused, more powerful, and completely beyond their reach. Nothing terrifies them more than your ability to turn their hate into fuel. Your presence haunts them because you stand as proof that no amount of manipulation, lies, or sabotage can stop someone who is truly destined to win. They wonder why you're unstoppable. The truth is simple. You don't play by their rules. They are trapped in their own bitterness while you move freely, rewriting the game. They can't figure you out, and that drives them insane. And let's be real, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're reshaping reality while they're stuck in the past, choking on the ashes of their own failed schemes. So if you're ready to step into your power, to embrace what makes you different, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the ones who refuse to be controlled. Because the future? It belongs to those who refuse to break. And that's exactly why they're afraid of you. Number 1. Stop being predictable. Master the power of mystery. They stare at you, trying to decode what can't be explained. You are not like the rest. You don't fit into their categories, and that drives them insane. People crave patterns, predictability, something they can label, box up, and understand. But you break their system. You exist outside the lines they've drawn, and it eats them alive. They try to study you like a puzzle with missing pieces, but the truth is, you were never meant to be solved. Your presence alone is unsettling to them because you don't play by their rules. They expect people to be easy to read, but every time they think they've figured you out, you shift again. Always 2 steps ahead, always untouchable. What haunts them the most? It's not just that they can't figure you out, it's that you don't care to be figured out. You move through life with a quiet confidence, an effortless grace that makes them question themselves. They wonder, how do they do it? How do you stay so calm, so sure of yourself when the world constantly seeks validation? They expect you to explain yourself, to break character, to show weakness, but you never do. And that's what makes them obsessed. Most people are desperate to be seen, to be understood, to be accepted. They broadcast their every thought, overshare their struggles, and seek constant reassurance. But you walk in silence. You don't need to explain your every move, and that's what unsettles them. The less you reveal, the more they crave to know. They whisper behind your back, dissecting every glance, every word you don't say, convinced there must be some hidden meaning behind it all. And here's the best part. They think your mystery is an act, a persona, a game. But the truth is, this is just who you are. You're not playing hard to get. You simply don't see the need to entertain those who haven't earned a place in your world. While they scramble for attention, You remain in control, and that shakes them to their core. To them, you are a locked book, written in a language they will never understand. They keep flipping the pages, hoping for a translation, but they only find more depth, more layers, more silence. That silence. It taunts them. They are used to people begging to be understood. But you have nothing to prove. You don't chase approval. You don't bow to expectations. And that's why they keep watching, keep wondering, keep obsessing. You are the one thing they will never control, the one question they will never answer. And that drives them mad. Number 2, escape the comfort trap. Command the room without saying a word. The moment you step into a room, everything shifts. The air gets heavier, the atmosphere tightens, because your energy is different. You don't walk in seeking approval. You don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You simply exist in your full power, and that alone is enough to shake them. Most people build their lives around predictability and control. They cling to the familiar, terrified of anything that forces them to question their own reality. Then you show up, calm, self-assured, completely unbothered by their expectations. You are a silent disruptor, a force that makes them uneasy, not because you try to, but because you can't be controlled. They want to ignore you, to dismiss you, but they can't look away. There's something about you that demands attention, not through words or desperate attempts to impress, but through pure presence. You don't try to fit in. You don't mold yourself to be more digestible, and that's exactly why they can't handle you. Your energy exposes them. It forces them to confront their own insecurities. Standing next to you, they feel small, unsteady, unsure. They've spent their lives following rules, seeking validation, and shaping themselves into what society expects. Then they see you, unshaken, unapologetic, free, and it terrifies them. Some will admire you. They'll study you, hoping to learn the secret behind your quiet strength. They'll see your presence as something rare, something they wish they had the courage to embody. But others will resent you. They will dislike you without reason, project their fears onto you, and try to tear you down, because your confidence reminds them of everything they lack. And yet, despite their resistance, despite their discomfort, they will never forget you. You don't just walk through life, you leave a mark. You force people to rethink their choices, to question whether they've been living authentically or merely existing in fear. And that is power. They may never admit it, but you've changed them forever. And whether they love you or hate you, one thing is certain: they will never escape the impact of your presence. Number 3, silence is your weapon. Use it to control any situation. They don't know what to do with your silence, chosen ones. It's louder than their noise, heavier than their words, and it unsettles them in ways they can't explain. The world is filled with people who talk just to be heard, who overshare every thought, who scramble to prove themselves. But you say nothing unless it matters. And when you do, your words cut through the noise like a blade. They expect you to explain yourself, to react, to fill the air with meaningless words like they do. But you don't. Instead, you hold your ground. Your expression is calm, unreadable. They can't tell if you're judging them, analyzing them, or if you simply don't care. And that uncertainty, it drives them mad. Your silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a weapon, a power move without effort. They can't handle the fact that you don't seek their approval, that you don't rush to prove your worth, that you're perfectly comfortable saying nothing. They're used to people begging to be understood, but you make them work for it. And that's where the real torment begins. Their own insecurities start whispering in their ears. What are they thinking? Are they unimpressed? Do they see through me? They project their fears onto you, filling in the blanks with their worst assumptions. But here's what they can't admit. They want your validation. They crave it more than anything. Your silence makes them desperate to know where they stand in your eyes. But you give them nothing, no confirmation, no reassurance, nothing to hold on to. And in doing so, you hold the power. They can't twist your words, can't control the narrative, can't manipulate a reaction out of you. You are a mirror, and when they look at you, all they see is their own self-doubt staring back at them. Whether they admire you or resent you, it doesn't matter. Because one thing is certain, they will never forget you. Your silence follows them, lingers in their minds, keeps them awake at night, wondering. And that's exactly how you like it. Number 4, quit struggling, make success look effortless like a mastermind. They watch you rise, and it eats them alive. To them, it looks like success just falls into your hands, like the universe itself bends to your will. They see your victories, your effortless moves, your quiet confidence, and it drives them mad. They don't see the battles fought in silence. They weren't there for the nights when you had to fight your own doubts, when you sacrificed more than they could ever imagine, when you pushed forward with nothing but your own willpower. They weren't watching when you stumbled, when you struggled, when you had every reason to quit, but didn't. And now, as you stand tall, they tell themselves, it must be luck. It must be unfair. Because how else could you be thriving while they're still stuck? They convince themselves that you had help, an advantage, a shortcut, anything to avoid admitting the truth. You outworked them. You outlasted them. You refused to break. What unsettles them the most? Your composure. You don't brag. You don't seek sympathy. You don't wear your struggles like a badge to prove how hard you've worked. You just keep winning, keep evolving, keep shattering the limits they set for you. And that's what really kills them, the fact that you make it look effortless. But here's the twist. They want what you have, but they'll never do what you did. While they see obstacles, you see opportunities. Where they give up, you push harder. They expect success to come with visible struggle, exhaustion, and cries for validation. But you've mastered the art of moving in silence. You've learned that the strongest power is the one that doesn't need to be proven. They can't stand that your success doesn't come with the usual signs of suffering. They want you to look like you're struggling because that would make them feel better about their own failures. But you refuse to carry the weight of your past like a burden. Instead, you use it as fuel to move faster, smarter, stronger. And that's why they can't stop watching you. You're living proof that their excuses mean nothing, that discipline beats talent, that quiet resilience is more powerful than loud desperation. And no matter how much they try to ignore it, deep down, they know you were never lucky. You were just unstoppable. Number 5, break free from opinions. Own your confidence without seeking approval. They watch you, waiting for a reaction that never comes. You don't flinch, you don't explain, and you definitely don't care. And that drives them insane. They're used to people desperate for approval, bending over backward just to be liked, constantly adjusting themselves to fit into whatever mold the world expects. But you don't play that game. You move through life on your own terms, untouched by their opinions, immune to their judgments. They can't stand it. Why? Because they depend on validation. They need people to praise them, fear them, or acknowledge them just to feel like they exist. But you couldn't care less. Their words hold no power over you. They try to break you. They throw their opinions at you like weapons, hoping something will stick. criticism, doubt, fake concern. They throw it all, waiting for you to stumble. But you never do. Instead, you keep moving, completely unshaken. And that's when it hits them. They need your approval more than you ever needed theirs. The moment they realize you don't seek their validation, they start craving yours. They want you to see them, to acknowledge them, to care. But you don't. And that is what keeps them obsessed. Your indifference is a power they can't fight. It forces them to question themselves, to wonder why they're so trapped in the cycle of caring what others think. Deep down, they wish they could live like you, free, untouchable, truly in control of their own mind. But here's the truth. Not everyone is built for this kind of freedom. Most people are prisoners of opinion, constantly chasing approval, terrified of rejection. You walked out of that cage and never looked back. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. You understand something they don't. People's opinions change like the wind. One day they praise you, the next they turn on you. And instead of playing that losing game, you simply removed yourself from the system entirely. And now, they can't resist you. They study you, trying to understand how you do it, how you exist without the need for their approval, how you live so effortlessly, so powerfully, while they are stuck in the endless loop of seeking validation. That's why they watch you. That's why they talk about you. That's why they can't forget you. Because you have something they'll never have. The power to be truly, unapologetically free. Number 6. Stop playing their game. Redefine power. Without begging for attention. The moment you walk into a room, everything shifts. It's not about what you say, not even about what you do. It's who you are. Your presence alone is enough to disrupt their entire system, shake up the order they've spent their lives carefully constructing. They have built their world on predictability, on clear roles, leaders, followers, attention seekers, background fillers. And then there's you, someone who exists outside their framework, someone who can't be defined, can't be controlled, can't be placed neatly into a category. And that terrifies them. You don't chase validation, yet somehow all eyes turn to you. You don't demand attention, but the moment you arrive, the entire energy shifts. They don't understand how you do it, how you command without controlling, how you influence without forcing, how you carry a presence that lingers long after you leave. They've spent their lives playing by unspoken rules, bending themselves to fit into the system. They follow the crowd, adapt to expectations, and live in fear of standing out too much. But then you appear, moving freely, untouched by their invisible limits. You are proof that the game they've been playing is meaningless, and that realization haunts them. They watch you, trying to figure out your secret. But the truth is, there is no secret. Just the undeniable power of someone who has embraced their true self. You don't seek permission. You don't mold yourself to make others comfortable. You move through life with absolute certainty, and that is what makes you unstoppable. The irony, you don't even try to disrupt them. You're simply existing, yet your mere presence is a threat to the illusion of control they cling to. The ones who built their lives on fitting in, on following trends, on seeking approval, they can't stand you because you expose everything they are not. But it doesn't stop there. Long after you leave, your energy stays. The room still carries the weight of your presence. They replay your words, your movements, your silence. They wonder why everything felt different when you were there. And that's why they can't stop obsessing over you. You are not a part of their game. You are the shift they never saw coming. Number 7. Don't be manipulated. Make your attention the rarest currency. They throw bait at you, expecting you to bite. Flashing status, power, empty flattery, thinking they can pull you in like they do everyone else. But here's what drives them mad: you don't even flinch. You see through the illusion, through the desperate attempts to control, to lure, to manipulate. Your attention is the rarest currency, and they can't afford it. They've spent their lives mastering the art of influence. They know exactly what buttons to push, what words to use, and how to dangle the right incentives to make people bend to their will. And it works on everyone but you. That's what unsettles them. Their usual tricks fall flat because you are built differently. You don't move for the things that make others crawl. They can't buy what was never for sale. And so they scramble. They switch tactics. If money doesn't work, maybe pity will. If praise doesn't sway you, maybe guilt will. They pull out every trick in the book, playing the victim, stirring up drama, trying to provoke jealousy. But still, you remain unmoved. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've done the inner work. You know your worth isn't defined by their approval. You don't need validation, attention, or permission from anyone. That level of self-possession is something they can't stand, because it renders them powerless. They're used to controlling the narrative, making people chase their approval, feeding on the desperation of others. But when it comes to you, they are left starving. No matter what they try, they cannot dictate your reactions. You are a locked safe, and they don't have the code. And that's where the irony kicks in. The more they realize they can't control you, the more obsessed they become. Your indifference haunts them. They need your attention more than they'd ever admit. And yet, it's the one thing they will never own. You are the ultimate puzzle they can't solve. And that is your power. Number 8, never stay the same. Keep evolving, so they can't keep up. They can't keep up, chosen one. Just when they think they've figured you out, you evolve again, leaving them stunned, scrambling, wondering how you keep slipping through their expectations. They rely on patterns, predictability, routines they can control. But you refuse to be boxed in. Your growth is relentless, your transformation unpredictable, and that terrifies them. They want you to stay the same, to be someone they can define, someone who plays by their rules. But you don't. You treat life like a masterpiece in progress, always adding, always refining, always becoming something greater. While they cling to comfort, you shatter limits and rewrite the rules. They tell themselves you got lucky, that success just follows you, but deep down, they know the truth. You work harder, think smarter, and move faster than they ever will. They measure success in applause, in validation, in approval. You measure it in progress, discipline, and self-mastery. That's why they will never understand you. One day, they see you mastering a skill they didn't even know you had. The next, you've pivoted into something completely new. They're left gasping, trying to catch up, trying to figure out your next move, only to realize you've already left them behind. They don't realize that your power isn't just in what you do. It's in your mindset. Where others fear change, you embrace it. Where others hesitate, you move forward. What intimidates them fuels you. You don't chase approval. You don't compete for recognition. Your only competition is yesterday's version of yourself. And because of that, you are impossible to pin down. Every time they think they finally understand you, you evolve again, growing into something even greater. And that's what drives them crazy. Because while they waste time trying to label you, you're already on to the next chapter, rewriting the entire game. A game they didn't even know they were playing. Number 9. Stop overcomplicating success. Make the impossible look inevitable. They watch you in disbelief, convinced you must have some secret key to success that they'll never find. To them, your victories seem unnatural, like you've unlocked a hidden path, a shortcut they can't access. They struggle, they fail, they make excuses, yet here you are, moving through life as if you were born to win. It haunts them. What they don't realize is this: there is no secret, no magic trick, no unfair advantage. The only difference between you and them is your mindset. While they hesitate, you adapt. While they overthink, you execute. Where they see obstacles, you see an open door waiting to be kicked down. They don't understand how you never stop moving forward, how you turn setbacks into opportunities with surgical precision. When they fail, they sulk. When you fail, you adjust, refine, and attack again. They see you bounce back so fast, so effortlessly, that it looks unfair, as if you're always one step ahead of the game. But they don't see what happens behind the scenes. They don't see the late nights, the endless self-improvement, the battles you fought when no one was watching. They assume success should look like struggle, loud, dramatic, obvious. But you've mastered the art of making it look effortless. That's what terrifies them the most. They can't figure out how you keep winning. Every time they think they've caught up, you evolve again, leaving them stuck, frustrated, lost in their own limitations. They whisper about you, convinced you must have been born lucky. But deep down, they know the truth. You built yourself. You sharpened your instincts, trusted your intuition, and played the game on a level they can't even comprehend. They don't see your failures because you don't let them define you. They don't see your struggles because you don't wear them as a badge of honor. And they don't see your limits because you have none. The impossible becomes inevitable in your world because you make it that way. And that's why they can't take their eyes off you. Number 10. Don't let their insecurities define you. Become the mirror. They fear. They don't hate you because of what you do. They don't envy you because of what you have. What truly shakes them to their core is what your existence forces them to see within themselves. You walk into a room, and suddenly, without saying a word, the air shifts. They become uneasy, restless, exposed. Why? Because you are the mirror they've spent their entire lives avoiding. They don't just see you. They see their own failures, their own fears, their own limitations staring back at them. You are the version of themselves they wish they could be, the proof that they could have done more, been more, achieved more, but chose not to. That realization stings, and instead of using it as fuel to change, they turn their discomfort into resentment. They pretend to dislike you, but the truth? They're just running from the reflection you cast. They see your confidence, and it reminds them of their hesitation. They see your independence, and it exposes their dependence. They see your success, and it highlights their excuses. You don't have to say a word. Your presence alone tells them everything they don't want to admit. And here's what really gets under their skin. You're not trying to make them feel small. You don't walk around pointing fingers, rubbing your wins in their face. You're just living. And yet, your existence alone forces them to confront everything they've ignored about themselves. That's why they react the way they do. Some will lash out, trying to discredit you, trying to tear you down, hoping to silence the reflection they see in you. Others will watch in quiet frustration, wishing they had your courage, your drive, your resilience, but unwilling to do the work to earn it. But here's the truth, chosen one. Their feelings are not your burden to carry. You didn't choose to be their mirror. The world just made it that way. And while they struggle with their inner battles, you keep rising. Because your existence isn't about proving anything to them. It's about becoming the version of yourself that no one, not even your enemies, can stop. And that's why they'll never stop watching. Number 11. Become unbreakable. Turn every setback into a power move. They watch in disbelief, chosen ones. Every time life tries to break you, you come back stronger, sharper, more unstoppable than before. Most people would crumble under the weight of what you've endured. Betrayals that should have shattered you, setbacks that should have buried you, criticism that should have silenced you. But you take the hits and keep moving. They don't understand how you do it. They expect you to fold, to retreat into self-doubt, to show even a glimpse of weakness. But instead, you rise again and again with the kind of resilience that defies logic. To them, it seems almost unnatural, as if you were made of something beyond flesh and bone. They wonder, how do they not break? How do they not collapse under the pressure? But the truth is, pressure doesn't crush you, it forges you. They've been conditioned to believe that pain weakens people, that hardship means defeat, that when the world turns against you, you should surrender. But you've rewritten the script. You've turned every wound into wisdom, every betrayal into power, and every failure into fuel. And that's what terrifies them. Your ability to bounce back is unpredictable. They expect you to pause, to dwell, to hesitate. But you don't. You adapt too fast, learn too quickly, and move too fearlessly. While they're busy plotting your downfall, you've already built the next chapter of your success. They try to keep up, but by the time they understand your last move, you're already miles ahead. They envy you, but they won't admit it. Instead, they search for explanations, desperate to convince themselves that your strength is an illusion. Maybe they've never suffered, they tell themselves. Maybe they're just lucky. But deep down, they know the truth. You've suffered more than they ever could, and yet here you stand, unshaken. And that's the part that haunts them the most. You weren't just built to survive, you were built to thrive in the fire they hoped would destroy you. While they let obstacles define them, you use them to transform. So let them wonder, let them obsess, let them study your every move. They will never understand how someone like you exists, and by the time they try to, you'll already be on to your next victory. Number 12. Quit following their rules, build your own, and dominate. They watch you, chosen one. They watch, confused, frustrated, obsessed. Why? Because you don't follow the rules, not theirs, not society's, not the ones designed to keep people in line. You carve your own path, effortlessly, fearlessly, and it makes them question everything they thought they knew about success, power, and control. The world moves in patterns. People are told how to behave, what to chase, who to become. They are given a script. Follow it, and you'll be accepted. But you tore that script apart. You refused to be another copy in a world full of imitations. And that terrifies them. They can't understand where your confidence comes from, how you move with such purpose without needing validation, how you stand alone yet never seem lost. While they run in circles, chasing approval, titles, and possessions, you move with a calm, quiet force, completely untouched by their noise. They measure their worth by how others see them. You measure yours by how true you remain to yourself. And that is power. To them, you exist on a different level, an enigma, a force of nature that can't be contained or explained. They whisper, wondering what drives you, what secret knowledge you've unlocked that makes you so untouchable. The truth? You don't operate under their rules. You create your own. They were taught that success has a formula: obey, conform, follow the path. Yet here you are, thriving outside their system, making your own rules and bending the world to your will. It's not that you reject structure. It's that you refuse to be controlled by it. And they can't stand it. Your ability to adapt, evolve, and reinvent yourself shatters their illusions, while they remain stuck in their old ways, clinging to systems that no longer serve them. You move freely, unburdened, unstoppable. You don't just succeed, you do it with an effortless grace that makes them question everything. That's why they can't stop watching, can't stop wondering, can't stop trying to decode you. You are proof that true power doesn't come from following the crowd. It comes from breaking free from it. And that is why they will never understand you. So let them talk. Let them obsess. Let them try to figure you out. Because at the end of the day, while they watch from the sidelines, you write the rules of the game. And that, chosen ones, is why they can't stop watching you. They don't just envy your success. They fear your freedom. You've broken the chains that hold them back, and now they're left questioning everything. You are the proof that they never had control over you. You move, evolve, and dominate without seeking permission. That's what truly haunts them. So, if you're ready to embrace this power fully, hit that like button, subscribe, and step into your greatness. This is where we rewrite the rules, break the limits, and take what's ours. The journey is only beginning. Are you in?